Hello, dear viewers. Thank you for joining us. You're watching our weekly program, Talk to OBN, on your favorite media channel, OBN Horn of Africa. In this edition, we're going to talk about Ethiopia-Pakistan's relationship. Obviously, Ethiopia and Pakistan have a long-standing and historical relationship. In this edition, I am with Ambassador Atif Sharif, Ambassador of Pakistan to Ethiopia, Sudan, and Gabon, and permanent representative to the African Union. Ambassador, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Asifa.
To begin with, how do you see the partnership that is ongoing between Ethiopia and Pakistan so long?
Thank you very much for having me on your program. It's a pleasure and honor to serve in this beautiful country. I'm here since August 2023. This is my third year, almost starting my third year. Pakistan and Ethiopia have a very important relationship, and Pakistan attaches high importance to this relationship because Ethiopia is an important country, dominant country in the Horn of Africa and in the Eastern Africa, and also the seat of African Union, and also has a great legacy of having not been colonized. So there are important things, but bilaterally we are having a good growth in our relationship in trade and investment, in educational cooperation, in cultural cooperation, in aviation cooperation, in defense cooperation, in political cooperation. I think they are all different fields in which we are having important initiatives. There are different stages, as with countries, you can plant a seed and it takes time to grow into a tree and bear fruit. So it's like we are at different stages, but we are working on multiple sectors.
Okay, Ambassador, what significant events have shaped the bilateral relationship between these two nations?
The first thing was the most historic event was the visit of our president, the then president Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, Mr. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, in 1973, which laid the foundation of our bilateral relationship, and we established our embassy in 1973. After that, the leaders have been meeting on the sidelines of international meetings, UN meetings. They have been maintaining their contacts. And the most recently, 2-3 important events took place in 2022 or 21, I would say. You started your embassy in Pakistan. That was an important time, an important step, because that showed the seriousness of your government to pursue this relationship. And I'm aware that at that time, many embassies were closed by Ethiopia, but a new embassy was opened in Pakistan, for which we are very thankful, and we appreciate the gesture. Another important thing was in 2023. This new flights from from Addis Ababa to Karachi by Ethiopian Airlines, 4 flights a week, they were started. So that also brought a lot of connectivity between the countries. So these two events, I think, are the recent ones that shaped the relationship. And a third important event, which is going to happen soon, will be in October, 15, 16, 17 October, where Pakistan will be having this single country exhibition, Made in Pakistan exhibition. More than 100 Pakistani exporters will be coming to Addis Ababa to showcase all their products in textile sector, engineering sector, automotive sector, cell phone sector, construction sector, ceramic tiles, construction glass, then pharmaceutical sectors. So there will be very sophisticated products. They will be shown in Millennium Hall. So that also is going to shape our relationship, change, kind of a game changer in our relationship, because it will be like 100 Pakistani exporters and our Minister of Trade and other senior civil servants. They will be coming and meeting and and inviting Ethiopian businessmen. So it's going to change the perception. It's going to create the awareness, and it's going to multiply the trade and business relationship between the country.
Well done, Ambassador. Ethiopia is undertaking a very massive reforms in a multitude of spheres. How does your government view the ongoing political and economic landscape of Ethiopia? Maybe for your investors to come and invest in Ethiopia and to have a smooth bilateral relationship with Ethiopia?
I think there are two kinds of reforms that are taking place. One is the political reform, for which I think the National Dialogue Commission is working, and they're trying to create a consensus in Ethiopia on how to overcome these centuries old, I would say, mistrust between the different ethnic groups, and how to create a more cooperative society, cooperative system, and more equitable system where everyone is happy. And this ethno-federal constitution, probably it has not solved all the issues. So they're trying to find out how to, manage this diversity in Ethiopia. It's a beautiful country with a beautiful diversity, but there needs to be, a formula in the constitution, in the governance, where everyone is happy and and have a say in the government. And of course, I've seen that. And many new regions have been established, which is also kind of a way to give them more power and more identity. So that's also a positive thing. On the economic side, I've seen that debt rescheduling has been done, is being pursued. So to make the debt more sustainable, and then export. This biggest reform was the currency liberalization, that now official rate of birr is very close to the parallel market rate. So which means that now your exporters will have an incentive to export, and imports will be discouraged, and remittance will also come through the official channel. Within a year, I've seen the exports have doubled, because many people who are smuggling, who are using other channels, they are now using the official channels to export the products like gold, like sheep, and all those things. That is a positive thing. Then the Ethiopian government is trying to put the private sector as the driver of the growth. So they're trying to privatize many institutions, trying to bring more initiative with the private sector, opening up for the foreign investors, like the banking sector. Now foreigners can invest in the banking sectors, they can invest in the retail sector. So hopefully we'll see Carrefour, and we'll see like these international Lulu, these chain stores, and then you'll have much more consumer products, because in my view, Ethiopia, especially Addis Ababa, is already an international city. You have a very high presence of foreigners in your country. Sometimes it's for a short trip, sometimes a long stay. And if you have like these kind of things, it will increase your city's tourist appeal also. Because once I'm going to a country, I will also see if my preferred things are available there or not. Because if I'm on a holiday for 3 days in Addis Ababa, and I can have my own choice food things and those things, I'll definitely give a more premium to that. But I'm digressing. The main point is that the economy is being opened up. The Ethiopian Stock Exchange has been established, which is again should have been done 10 years ago, but still all is well that ends well. Whatever it comes, it's done. And Pakistani company has prepared the software for this digitization of this Ethiopian Stock Exchange. So again, there's a linkage between Pakistan and Ethiopia in that aspect. And then I think these kind of then of course the government is trying to increase the revenue, mobilize more domestic resources, because the tax to GDP ratio is not as high as it should be, for a sustainable economy. Similar, I think Pakistan is also facing a challenge in generating enough revenues to have a sustainable growth. And also, I think you're trying to attract investment in this in different industries, and then the electric vehicle EV policy, though it's quite sudden, but still I think ultimately that is the end goal is is quite appreciable. Yeah. And these are the kind of things I can
Ethiopia is being preferred by many nations, especially by many investors of specific countries, and one of the leading investors are Pakistanis. Pakistanis investors need to come and invest in Ethiopia. Can you exactly tell us the comparative advantage that Ethiopia has over other nations for investment?
I think in this region, Ethiopia has the largest economy and the largest population. You're close to the Red Sea also, so hopefully once you have more diversification of the ports, so even the trading will become easier. But itself, I think the attractiveness of the market, that the cost of production is low in terms of electricity, electric cost is low. I think this is one thing. The second thing is that Ethiopian Investment Commission and the government is offering very aggressive and positive incentives. Like if I'm an investor and I put an industry here, I'll give a tax holiday for 10 years or 5 years. So which is quite good, because in that time I'll be able to recover most of my investment, So I'll feel safe that, for 5-10 years I will be able to sell my products without the taxation on it. And now with this currency liberalization, I've learned that the issue of remittance, like if I want to remit my profit, if I've earned $10 million a year and I want to send it back, it has also improved, it has, so it also makes it easier for an investor if he can take back the money, at least the profit, not the principal amount, but at least the profit. And the workforce is also, I think, gradually becoming more skilled, more educated, because another important issue is that if I want to put a sophisticated industry, I need to have people who can work in that industry locally. Another thing that I've seen is that, like in pharmaceutical industry, now they have made the policies in such a way that they are preferring local pharma production. So which is again a positive thing, that if I want to invest in a pharma company, your Ethiopian pharmaceutical supply organization, they will buy first from me, and then if it's not available, then they look for the imports. So I think these are the positive things that Pakistani investors are looking. We already have 5-7 Pakistani factories in Ethiopia, but I can tell you, without giving you more details, but I can tell you that many major players from Pakistan are looking at Ethiopia. They are exploring Ethiopia.
Ethiopia again has got this global acclaim for its Green Legacy initiative, and Pakistan is one of the leading nations which fully accepted Ethiopia's trend in replicating the trends that Ethiopia is undertaking in terms of Green Legacy, and you have raised these things on another media that your government is keenly working on Green Legacy after the lesson grabbed from Ethiopia. How it's going out there in Pakistan? You've been there.
I think Ethiopia has shown leadership in this sector, and I would say one of the very few countries in the world who have done this thing on such a massive scale in such a successful manner, for which I give a lot of credit to your government and to the Prime Minister. And like Ethiopia and Pakistan, they're very vulnerable to climate change. They are already facing a lot of rains, irregular weather patterns, whether too many rains or droughts or floods, all those things. And I'm very happy to note that within a few years, your forest coverage has increased from 17% to 23%, with this 40 billion or maybe exceeding 40 billion plantation. So our government is really encouraged by these things, and it's an inspiration for Pakistan. Your ambassador was telling me that within this month, maybe an Ethiopian Green Legacy Initiative team is going to Pakistan to share the success story and to meet with the officials and all those things. So yes, we have been undertaking this thing, but of course the scale is much bigger in Ethiopia.
Okay, how do you envision the lesson that Ethiopia ought to learn from Pakistan in terms of mining, tourism, agriculture, maybe ICT? You know what, Ethiopia is undertaking massive reforms, as I have said a while ago, in terms of reforming the previous trends in agriculture, tourism, ICT, manufacturing and stuff like that, by undertaking this homegrown economic reform, by identifying these 5 pillars. Do you have a lesson that you want to convey from Pakistan?
I think it's a difficult question, because there's no one magic formula or thing to say. But I feel that there are some areas in which Ethiopia has done better than us, like in aviation sector. It's a success story and something that for which we envy and appreciate Ethiopia. But in many other sectors like manufacturing and agriculture, we are at a more advanced stage. But the main thing I would say is that first of all, we need to invest in our own people. We need to educate our own people. We need to create a workforce who can deliver you the results. Because you can always have investment in agriculture, investment in manufacturing. You can set up, buy machinery, put it the machinery, but you need people to run those things. So like we are producing our 80% of our own medicines. And our medicines are even better than our eastern neighbor, better quality and better price. It's very reasonable price. Then we have our own construction industry, ceramic tiles, construction glass, cement and all those things. But even more sophisticated, we are producing our own mobile. So I think the policy that we have started is that rather than importing all those things, go towards import substitution, because like we have 250 million population, so we cannot import everything. Right now we have a huge investment from Nestle, from consumer products giants like Colgate-Palmolive, from Unilever. So you don't have to all kinds of shampoos, all kind of soaps, all kinds of face washes, all kind of detergents, all kind of toothpaste, all these personal hygiene, personal care products are all being produced in Pakistan, and that has brought the cost down. So it's not just the elite who are using shampoo or who is using the toothpaste. Even a villager person in the village would not use this wooden stick anymore. He would like to use this toothpaste and toothbrush and all those kind of things, or detergent. Right. So that is one thing. Once you bring the cost down, do your local manufacturing, that will then bring more and more people into that thing. So one aspect, for example, if I'm a investor in looking at producing a shampoo company in Ethiopia, I look how many of the population would be using the shampoo. If only 5% are using the shampoo, then it's not very profitable to make a very big investment, because the sales will be less. So in Pakistan, the good thing is that 90% of the people are using sophisticated things now.
Let's talk about this public diplomacy and people-to-people ties. As an ambassador, what are you exactly doing in that area in connecting the usual diplomacy trend, creating public diplomacy through people-to-people ties?
It's a very important area, and of course every embassy, every foreign mission is trying to create an impact and trying to share something about their culture. So we had a few programs about the public diplomacy. We had a cultural program about how a wedding is organized, wedding functions are organized, what kind of dresses are worn, what kind of music is played, and we invited all the ambassadors and all the Ethiopian diplomats and officials. So it was a good one. Then I think we are trying to again. Another way to do is that to create more exchange of visitors between the two countries, like people who are going to Pakistan for education or health or these kind of things, they always bring back a very positive image of the culture. So I think people are also Pakistani people, when they come to Ethiopia and they go to a cultural restaurant, they see the Ethiopian food and the dance, so they really enjoy it. So likewise, I think Pakistani food, cuisine, Pakistani dresses, Pakistani hospitality, people are very hospitable. In Pakistan, if you go to a person, you're a foreigner, most likely he will not take money from you, for food or he'll give you a gift. So it's a very positive part of the culture. In the world, not many nations are as generous and hospitable. People are very generally stingy, but Pakistanis are not like that. They will, go out of the way to treat the foreigners. So yeah, I think these are the different kind of events that we are trying to, create and bring more Ethiopians to Pakistan, bring more Pakistanis to Ethiopia.
Okay. Mr. Ambassador, it's been a year since Ethiopia has claimed this access to sea outlet. And how does the government view this quest of Ethiopia? Is that legit?
I think being a landlocked country, it is under the international law, it's Ethiopia's right to have access to seaports for commercial use. And then beyond that point, you're subject to the bilateral agreement between the two countries. If you want to use it for a naval purpose, Pakistan would support it as long as your partner country is ready to go along with it. I'll just keep it up to that.
All right. The thing that Ethiopia is being appreciated is the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam. And it will be inaugurated in the coming September after a month. Right. How do you see the whole process that this Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam has gone through from day one up until this day in terms of diplomacy, financing, and Ethiopia's government's commitment and the public at large as well?
First of all, I would say that water, river water or sea water, especially river water, is a common resource of humanity. It is not something that belongs to me or belongs to you. It is something that humanity shares across the borders, and it may originate, maybe something is starting from one country going to another country. But under international law, under civilization principles, water is something that we have to share, and we have to share in a way that serves the interests of both countries. So I think there's a lot of scope for cooperation in this area, that Ethiopia is the upper riparian country, and it has for example, in subcontinent, in South Asia, many rivers are flowing down from India towards Pakistan. But from very early on, both countries came to an agreement on how to share that water. So I think I would say that Ethiopia has a right to use the water that is being, that nature is giving to you. And I hope that ultimately you'll have a regional arrangement and agreement with the low riparian countries, so that this thing is regulated and there's a win-win situation, there's a cordial situation, and that doesn't lead to needless friction.
Well, Ambassador, my final question before you leave is, about the ongoing corridor development happening in Ethiopia. It's happening in major cities and towns across Ethiopia. How do you see the ongoing renovation, revamping, and beautifying the cities and towns in Ethiopia?
Well, I think, of course, it has a number of aspects to it. First is that it has, this kind of investment has increased your GDP. It has created more jobs. It has created more demand for cement and steel and all those things. So it's a positive thing that it has given a boost to the economy. On the other side, also sometimes one has to be, if I'm a financial manager, I have to see, do I have the resources to do this thing, and can I do it in a sustainable way? So that's a challenge, and I hope that Ethiopia is doing it in a prudent manner. And I'm in fact, sometimes I'm marveled at the resources that are being utilized. On the other side, I think it has created a very major impact that it has really improved your cities, especially Addis Ababa. It has become, no one can recognize Addis Ababa anymore. It has really given the city an international touch and, a global benchmark, So I'm sure that whatever cost you have put on it, there'll be much more investment coming for that, high-rise buildings and, more tourism, more facelift. So I think overall it was much needed. I would say that, as the population is growing, the traffic is growing, these kind of things are required.
Atif Sharif, Ambassador of Pakistan to Ethiopia, Gabon and South Sudan, and permanent representative of the African Union. Thank you for your precious time.
Thank you very much for giving for this opportunity and for coming and visiting us, Mr. Asif.
Well done. Dear viewers, this brings you the end of our edition for today. See you next time with another edition. Bye-bye. This is Talk to OBN once again.